How's it going? I'm Justin Dabney with Bridge Realtors in the Oakland, Kentuckiana Real Estate Group. The point of these videos is to kind of help answer some questions about the real estate process and see what we can do to make your life easier. My goal is to keep these videos short, informational, and hopefully somewhat entertaining. Pretty new at this, so it might get a little wonky to begin with, but as I do it more and the editing gets easier, hopefully these videos get better. This video is mostly aimed towards first-time homebuyers. I work with first-time homebuyers quite a bit, and I get the most questions from them just because they don't really know the process or what they're supposed to do. So we're going to talk about some of the different aspects throughout multiple videos, but this video in particular is going to focus on the pre-approval letter, why it's important, where you go to get one, when do you need to get one, and things of that nature. So the first thing we need to do is kind of explain what the pre-approval letter is. The pre-approval letter is a piece of paper that you're going to get from your lender that's going to tell you how much you can get a loan for, what type of loan it is, and it gives the seller the opportunity to know that you are approved, or at least pre-approved, to purchase the house that they are selling. To get this pre-approval letter, you will need to speak to a lender. So the first thing I'm going to tell you to do anytime you ask me what the first step is, I'm going to say, have you talked to a lender? And if you tell me no, I'm going to say, well, you need to do that first because you have to get a pre-approval letter, because most of the time sellers won't really bother with your offer if you don't have one, and sometimes sellers won't even let you look at their house without a pre-approval letter in hand first. So when you go talk to your lender, you're going to need a few pieces of information. You're going to need to provide some W-2s over the past few years, some work history, employment information, some debt information, because they need to figure out your debt to income ratio. They need to know what your credit score is, so they're going to run a hard check on your credit to find what it exactly is, not what Credit Karma tells you what it is. Just to give you a heads up, Credit Karma is generally always wrong. So they're going to have to do a hard check on your credit and make sure you are qualified credit-wise to get a loan, and then they will check your income and your employment history and your debt to make sure you can financially get a loan. They will let you know an amount up to. Sometimes if you just ask, hey, I'm trying to get a house up to $200,000, they'll just tell you, yep, you're good up to $200,000. If you want to know what your cap is, you can ask. They'll give you a cap. But that doesn't mean what you're approved to is what you can afford, if that makes sense. You need to know what your budget is. So if you're currently renting, sometimes that helps because you can identify what you pay in rent, plus your utilities and things like that, so you know what you're comfortable with. If you're just starting out, it's probably good to ask some family and friends kind of what some typical costs are. Talk to your lender about that. They can help you with that too. But you really want to understand what your budget is and not just your approved amount. That way you can comfortably look for homes within your budget and not be house broke, is what it's called, when you have to spend all your money just on your mortgage and then you can't do anything else. So again, when do we need to get the pre-approval letter? We need to get it first. That's got to be the first thing that you focus on. The first thing that you do is get that pre-approval letter, because then, like I said before, a lot of sellers won't even bother with your offer that you turn in if you don't have one. And some won't even let you look at the house if you don't have a pre-approval letter already in hand, because that doesn't show them that you're actually serious about buying. It just shows them that you're kind of thinking about it. They want to see that you've at least taken that first step. When it comes to choosing a lender, there's lots of them out there, and they all offer different products and advice and things like that. I would always recommend using a local lender, somebody that you can actually sit down and talk with. I don't really love the online lenders. I know a lot of people like to use them. The problem is, for me, the experience I've had is if something gets a little hairy in the transaction, it's easier for me to talk to people I know that have dealt with things that I know than to try to go through the automated system to get to the right person on the online lending community. Just an example, if I'm the listing agent and I'm working with my seller and I get two offers in to present to my seller and they're the exact same offer, but one has a lender that I know personally and that I've worked with and that I have good communication with, I'm going to let that seller know, hey, I'm more comfortable with this one versus the other one because I don't know this lender. Never heard of whatever online lender they're using, or if it's somebody from out of town or out of state that can do loans in this area. I'm always going to lean towards the ones I'm more comfortable with because real estate isn't always just a smooth transaction. Sometimes there's bumps in the road, and I want to know that I can communicate easily to get through those situations. So just a quick recap. I know this is kind of a quick video, but it is an important one, and it's going to be the first step I mention anytime I'm talking with a new buyer is get that pre-approval letter, go talk to your lender. You need to know how much you're approved for. You need to know where your credit standing is, and you need to know what your budget is. So we need to know where to start when we're looking for homes. We don't want to go in blind. You don't want to go looking at homes and not have this approval and not know where you're at and then just get disappointed when you can't actually make an offer when you find a home you like. So do this first. If you think you're ready to get started, but you're not really sure who to talk to, go ahead and send me an email, and I will send you a list of lenders that I trust and that I've worked with before. And I can send you a home buyer's guide that'll kind of give you a step-by-step on what the process is and some expectations that are set. And then we can just kind of go from there. I appreciate it. Thanks for watching.